Today, I am talking to Oriana Turley of Medicine Mountain Scrub Company. She creates sustainably and ethically manufactured medical workwear for women. So thank you, Oriana, for taking some time out to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's just start out very simply. It says it a little bit, medical workwear, but tell me about what you make.
Yeah, so we make scrubs for women who work in healthcare. So I'm a nurse by trade. I worked on a neuro unit the last 6.5 years, and I had level 2 trauma center in Montana. And I wear scrubs to work every single day. So naturally, I was able to identify some problems with the scrubs that were currently available and decided to just kind of apply my own concept to it. We essentially want to be the Patagonia of the medical workplace, if you know the super famous outdoor brand.
That is a great way to put it. I hadn't thought of it like that. That really makes sense. In looking at your media and your messaging, nature really does seem to play an important part for you. You actually even say that you are a mountain-inspired brand. What does that mean? Why is nature so important? What does it mean to be a mountain-inspired brand?
For me personally, so many lessons in my life have first been learned in the mountains. Previous to being a nurse, I worked in the outdoor industry. I was a whitewater river guide. I taught whitewater kayaking. I've just spent a lot of time in the mountains and in nature, and it's really the place that heals my soul. And that, continued to prove to be true as I became a nurse through nursing school and then entered the profession and through COVID. And I really turned to the mountains to heal my own soul. And there's a grit about doing mountain inspired activities. So going into the mountains, doing hard things on purpose, and, not always taking the easy route. Sometimes you take a more difficult, arduous route and you get somewhere really beautiful. And I think working in medicine is very similar. I think it's not glamorous. We often do the dirty work, especially working at the bedside. And showing up with that same kind of mountain spirit to do the dirty work with grit and grace and continue to choose to do hard things on purpose, it's really central to our brand. But also mountain inspired because we put mountains on our scrubs. We use recycled materials. We think about our impact on the planet first and foremost in our design, in our supply chain, and just really kind of highlighting hues of the alpine for our scrub sets. So the actual colors of our scrubs are muted hues that you would see in the in-between spaces between, sunrise and the mountains. And we really want to kind of bring that mountain spirit into the workplace through our professional uniform, our scrubs.
It's really great. There are some really cool parallels between the healing, like you're talking about the healing in nature, and then the healing in the actual profession that somebody who's wearing scrubs is performing. Yep. Also taking a harder path with your decision to choose a sustainably made product. It is harder to do. It's harder to find the materials. It's harder to get it done in ways that are ethical and, like you said, sustainable. And I love the fact that you also brought in the colors, that it just feels very infused all the way across your brand. Let me talk about your fabric. What kind of fabric did you choose to use?
Yeah, so we use a recycled polyester. So it's made from recycled plastic bottles, but it's made kind of geared toward the outdoor industry. It's more of a fabric that you would think of in an outdoor apparel brand product. So it's got 4-way stretch. It's super soft, and it has all the quick dry qualities, breathability that you would expect in a performance fabric. And we just kind of took that and applied it to making scrubs.
Besides the actual fabric, what other elements of sustainability did you infuse into your brand, and how?
Supply chain. I mean, you said it's harder to make stuff that is ethical and sustainable. It is more expensive. It is difficult to learn about. I really use the blueprint that the outdoor industry provided as far as international certifications for sustainability and ethics in our factories for our fabric and our cut and sew. Because to me, that was really, they're the trailblazers of creating global supply chains that also take healthy people and a healthy planet into account. And so our fabric is made in a Blue Sign approved facility, which is a Swiss certification. And it really focuses on, there's like 28 points of not using harmful chemicals, making sure the water is filtrated before it's put back into the environment. How do they create their electricity? Is there, do they have safe working conditions? Are their people paid appropriately? And those were all the tenets and our core values of my sister, who is my co-founder, and myself. And we wanted to make sure that when we built a business, we were building a business that we could be proud of. And so it had to be centered around our values, and therefore, the values of ethics and sustainability. And every product creates waste, right? It's not like we don't acknowledge that, but it's about intentionally building a business that considers healthy people and a healthy planet at the core of our business.
So you're, accepting that you're not going to be perfect, but that you're going to minimize wherever it is that you can.
Progress. Yeah, exactly. Like, be really straight up about, these are the things that are not recycled. This is like where we are. This is our vision for where we're going. And then bring people along for the ride and how we get there, because we know that it's an evolution. It will take us time. But it's all about that transparency and just kind of being authentic, as a brand.
What do you feel like sets you apart from mainstream brands? Obviously, your sustainability, but
Yeah. I think just being a small brand too, in the scrub space, there's a few smaller brands out there, but it's dominated by a few large players. Mm-hmm. And yes, there's some touch on, sustainability here, ethics there, but it really is it's the core of our brand, is to build everything starting and beginning with ethics and sustainability. We are a woman-focused brand. And so the spirit of our brand is very like women supporting women. And we are a woman-owned small business and a nurse-owned business. And so we just kind of want to hold up a mirror to the people that we serve, right? Healthcare providers are in service to others, and we want to be in service to women who work at the bedside.
Tell me about, what were some of the things functionality-wise that you wanted to focus on when you were making your product?
Thanks for bringing that up. Full function. For myself, I'm an athletic-bodied woman. Some of the bigger brands didn't fit my body well. I've got broad shoulders, the V-necks. You bend over, you expose your body, and you work in small spaces as a nurse, especially. It's very intimate. And so you're in a lot of different positions. And it's really important for us to design scrubs that cover your body in all positions. And so we really focused on a high yoga waistband, so comfortable, no slip, won't roll. But also, if you're squatting in a bathroom, helping someone in a personal moment, that your crack is not exposed, or you're leaning over performing an invasive procedure on a person, that they can't see down your shirt and see your whole body, which happens more than you might think. And I was just tired of it, because I'm like a kayaker by trade. I wear a kit when I go kayaking. I wear the same clothes, the same layers, in the same way every time I go. And I wanted to apply that same concept to work, because I don't want it to be about what I'm wearing. I want it to be a tool of my trade, right? I want to show up to work, layer everything consistently every single time, look professional, be able to do my job and not have to think too much about what I was wearing. And so we applied that to our design, and to make full function, full coverage workwear for women.
I appreciate that the functionality, sometimes a sustainable brand, the focus is that it's sustainable, but you can't lose the fact that you need it to be functional, and you need it to look as good as another mainstream product. So obviously it takes a very long time to even reach the place that you have reached, where you have this first line out. What are you feeling like you want to do next? Do you want to create another line? Are we working on colors? Do you want to just sit and let this breathe and have a moment and get out there?
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, it's a long road when you're a self-funded, bootstrapped brand, right? It's like, development is expensive. It takes a long time. Finding the right supply partners is difficult. And it takes a couple of months to get scrubs made. So we are going to focus on our Alpine scrub set, which is our inaugural scrub set. We now have live inventory in 3 colors on our website. So yeah, we're going to focus on expanding our colors, make sure that we can provide some of those basic colors that are common requirements for hospitals and clinics, et cetera. and collaborate with artists to put, we've got mountains on our scrubs as an option currently, but be able to collaborate with artists to do some different art style, mountain inspired art on our scrubs. But yeah, kind of stick to what we know, because it took a long time for us to get it right, so to speak, for our alpine scrub set. So we are going to be a slow burn business.
Have you gotten any feedback yet from people wearing your scrubs?
Yeah, definitely. We've had incredible feedback. People have sent us one-page emails, talking about the scrubs and our business. And they were sending us notes on Instagram, reviews, video reviews, emails. And that, of course, just helps us tell our story better on social media, but it also just warmed our hearts. But we think that we did a pretty good job of designing scrubs that fit a variety of bodies and make people look good and feel good and keep them covered.
You can find Medicine Mountain Scrub Company on Instagram at Medicine Mountain Scrubs, on Facebook at Medicine Mountain Scrub Company, or on her website, medicinemountainscrubs.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate hearing about your product and how much intentionality you put behind creating it. And it was just really cool to get to talk to you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.